Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to introduce your valedictorian, Mrs. Elyse Amend. Elyse defended her MA dissertation in search of models and investigation into the practical use of models of science communication in science journalism production. In August of 2011, under the supervision of Dr. David Secco from the Department of Journalism, Mrs. Amend's thesis used 4 models of science communications to explore how science journalists could create journalism from within different theoretical frames. Mrs. Amend's thesis involved recruiting working journalists to her project. They were asked to produce test journalism that was then presented to public focus groups and ultimately analyzed against her theoretical models. Mrs. Amend's work provided an original contribution to a field that desperately needs to be more theoretically informed so that it can help people meaningfully engage with science. Mrs. Amend is currently teaching an undergraduate course in the journalism department at Concordia University, broadcast journalism history, and is also continuing her research on science journalism and public engagement with science with Dr. David Secco and the team at the Concordia Science Journalism Project. Mrs. Amend is planning to start her PhD in the fall of 2012. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask Mrs. Elyse Amend to give her valedictory address. Elyse.
Thank you. Chancellor Ménard, Vice Chairwoman Tobias, President Lowy, Dr. Reichs, distinguished guests and participants, fellow students, families, and friends, I am pleased and honored to address you today on behalf of the graduating students. Pleased, honored, and quite frankly, a little bit anxious too. Not only am I up here for the next few minutes speaking to full house at Place des Arts, and it seems really full from up here, but I'm also supposed to represent all of the graduating students from Concordia University's Faculty of Arts and Science. Now, over the past month or so, up until about a week ago, I started to write 30 or so speeches, but never ended up finishing any of them because I was struggling to find something clever to say, something meaningful, and something all-encompassing to say about all of us here today. Now, not only is the Faculty of Arts and Science Concordia's biggest faculty, but it's also one of the biggest in Canada. There are graduates here from so many different disciplines, like we all just saw. So it's been quite tough to think of something to talk about that we will definitely all have in common. I was thinking, should I talk about the shuttle bus ride from Sir George Williams or those kind of awkward ID photos that we've had over the past couple of years, at least mine is quite awkward, and then meeting up with friends and classmates to study at Reggie's. Mais c'est à ce moment que ça m'a frappé. Bien sûr que nous avons tous quelque chose en commun. Après des années de travail acharné, nous voici enfin avec la preuve dans notre main, dur labeur en main. Nous sommes tous ici pour célébrer ensemble notre triomphe personnel. Nous y sommes arrivés. Now, I really don't believe I'm in any place to give advice on what to do with the rest of your lives. I'm still working on that one myself. But I remember seeing this posted on a professor's door some time ago. I'm sure some of you have heard this before. The joke goes, first you get your bachelor's degree and you think you know everything, right? Then you get your master's degree and you realize that you really don't know anything. And then finally at the end you get your PhD and you realize that nobody knows anything. Well, I've just finished my master's degree, and thanks to that and life's little fun lessons along the way, I realized that I don't know anything. But over my years here at Concordia, I've met so many people who have made lasting impressions on me, who have been so supportive and who have shared their words of wisdom with me. And I'll share a little bit what I've taken away from the experience with you now. And that is, as I said before, the diploma you're holding in your hand right now represents accomplishment, but it's a personal accomplishment. So once this day is done, I think we might want to think about striving for things beyond personal accomplishment and realize that our own goals and successes are actually, in one way or another, always tied to the people sitting around you and the world at large. So what I try to live by, and I hope this resonates with some of you, is to live to do good for yourself and for others, and to live your life in a way that you will be proud and that others will be proud. Graduating from Concordia today means that hopefully we're smarter people now than when we started here. We've gained knowledge and skills, and we're now well prepared for the paths that lie ahead of us. Nous devons maintenant prendre toutes les opportunités qui nous sont présentées sérieusement. Nous devons nous assurer que nous continuerons d'apprendre, et nous devons nous assurer que les décisions que nous prendrons dans la vie sont à la fois bien informées et morales. I've learned, took some time, but I've learned that it's not actually that bad to brag about yourself every now and then, but as long as what you're bragging about is worth it. So let's keep the momentum going from our own personal accomplishments that we're celebrating here today, and strive towards greatness, strive towards making an impact that can be celebrated by all. So thank you, merci, and congratulations once again.
See, Elyse had nothing to worry about. Her remarks were indeed clever and meaningful.